Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. And today I'm going to be updating my Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon deck. Basically, Galaxy Photons. Now, I really love this deck. I love the archetype, and the artwork is just so beautiful. You will fall in love with this deck immediately just upon glancing at it. Now, we just recently got some new support, and also in about 24 or 25 days, we're getting more support for this deck, which is going to bring it to the competitive format, I believe the competitive scene where it really belongs. I feel this deck really belongs in the competitive format. It has been getting treatment that it doesn't deserve as being put off as a rogue deck, and that's because the deck was lacking not only in the ability to produce turn 1 boards like that were viable enough for the competitive scene, but also as far as consistency goes, it only really had 6 cards in its archetype that allowed it to generate card advantage or just search out its specific cards that it needs. I mean, it did have spells that can tutor them from the deck, but it's like you really only had 6 archetype-based searchers, which the deck was really lacking as far as being able to search out the combo pieces it needed. So you could play text like Melody of the Awakened Dragon and search this out and other cards like that. But overall, it was just like it was lacking in a lot of different areas. It was a really solid deck as far as just the archetype goes and the engine. It was just lacking some polishing, some refining here and there. And overall, now it's really where I want it to be. It's really strong. It's really powerful. And once we get the new support, this deck, I'm telling you, brother, it's going to skyrocket. It's actually going to be, you're going to see people playing this deck. And this deck, it deserves it, really. I played the deck way back in 2012 and then sold it in 2015 and then picked it back up this year. So I have a lot of experience, 3 years of experience with it. So I'm going to show you guys my build. And I really wanted to showcase this build because before, the only Galaxy Eyes profile that I saw that was actually good, that I liked, was mine, the one that I did like months ago, because I looked trying to find builds that were good just to see how people were playing the deck. And every build I saw was cringeworthy. So you guys definitely take my list, use it as a guide if you want to build the deck. Don't follow like the Dragon Shrine. Like, don't do what other people are doing. I'm telling you, bro, this is the best list you're going to find on YouTube. Coming from a guy that has experience with the deck, you guys just follow this list. This is going to give you what the deck really needs. This is going to give you exactly just a grand idea of how the deck played. So let's hop right into the main deck. So starting off with our monsters, we play 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. This is the heart and soul of the deck, literally. There are a lot of effects that specifically list this card in their card text and the name, being that a lot of effects can only resolve if you have this particular card in rotation, being like hand, field, graveyard, or as an XYZ material. So it's really important to capitalize on playing 3 because it makes it a lot easier. So sometimes you don't have to waste some of your searchers on this. We did get a new searcher that gets this card straight from your deck to hand, which is really important. When we get our Link monster, this card is going to just be a threat in hand because of Galaxy Soul Flare Dragon. So this card overall is just really impressive. It has better artwork than Blue Eyes. To you Blue Eyes fan, I know it sucks, but he does look better than Blue Eyes. And he's like a battle god. Your opponent, as far as trying to kill this monster by battle, you can't really do that. Whenever he battles, he banishes himself and the monster he's battling until the end of the battle phase, and they both return to the field. And that it's really crucial because it allows you to kind of just tag out and dodge to keep him on field. So that's the bare minimum. And then if he banished the XYZ monster for this effect, he gains 500 attack for each material that it had. And that just continues to build up and build up and build up, which is insane. So he can make himself bigger than 3,000, which is really important. This deck has a lot of beaters, by the way. Then next up, we have triple Galaxy Knight. One of the most important turn 1 plays of the deck. This card is a 1-card rank 8, which is really incredible. All you need is specifically Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in your grave. Remember, I was telling you he's really important because a lot of cards like Knight revolve specifically around him and only are catered to him in particular, which can sometimes you can consider it like a drawback, but also at the same time, you have to consider how easy it is to actually set this play up in this deck. And it's really easy, trust me. So you have Triple Knight. He's your starter play. He's a follow-up, and he's a recovery. He also can sometimes be an extender because the way you use him, you can actually abuse him. You don't always have to go into a rank 8. You can use him as another way to get Link fodder on the field as well. And also as far as damage output goes, he's another way to just slap well over 4,000 on board because you can just summon your Prime Photon, beat over anything really. And then, so those are pretty much, the main stars of the deck. And then we have our archetype searchers. We have triple Galaxy Soldier. Now, I know that a lot of other decks like to abuse this, but this card is played best in his own deck. Galaxy Soldier, obviously, he searches any Galaxy monster, which is really important because that's pretty much all of your archetype. There are certain cards that are like Photon in their name that you can't search, but also the Photon cards can be searched out by other Photon cards, which is really important. The archetype of Galaxy and Photon are two separate archetypes that, in correlation to each other, just as an implemented and integrated hybrid variation, they're very beautiful and complement each other very well, almost as if it was peanut butter and jelly, you know? Peanut butter and jelly, you guys. It's perfect. So Soldier is just insane in this deck. You all know what this card does by now, so I don't think I need to explain it. I just wanted to reiterate the fact that this card is a lot better in its own archetype. It's really good. And the fact that you don't have to normal summon to get the search is what makes it so broken. Then we have our next searcher, Photon Orbital. I really like that we got this because we needed another way to search without using a summon. We can get another searcher that said, like, if this card's normal summon, you know, if we got one that says, like, if it's special summon, that would be cool too. But your normal summon searcher definitely goes to your Galaxy Wizard. Now, what these two do is virtually going to be the same thing, but Galaxy Wizard has every searcher beat because he searches any Galaxy card, which means he searches your spells and sometimes your traps, depending on which ones you're playing. And he also searches your monsters. The only thing is you have to normal summon this card and tribute him unless you have another way to special him, which there are ways to special him from the deck and from the grave. But as far as setting up, most of the time, like, if you don't have like a specific spell, you're going to normal summon this card. You know, and he does have another effect. He can make himself a level 8. So if you have Expedition, you can normal this guy, activate Expedition, you know, special anything you want from your deck, and then tribute him and then search after that. And you can search out your Monster Reborn and just, you know, do some crazy stuff. And Orbital searches out your monsters as well, your Photon or your Galaxies. What he does is during your main phase, you could target a Photon or Galaxy monster that you control, equip this card from your hand or your field to that monster, and then that monster gains 500 attack, and it also cannot be destroyed by battle, which is really cool because you can pretty much get your Lord to where he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, which is really cool. And you can even protect him from targeting with the rank 4. But the most important thing is you can send this card as an equip to the graveyard to search. So it's a searcher that you don't have to waste your normal summon on. So yeah, more searchers. And then also we play triple Photon Vanisher. Now what Vanisher is he's in a specific searcher for your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I think I like to set up like this. I think I'm going to do it like this, right? I'm going to have it like this. Yeah, I like this setup better. I'm going to start doing this more in my videos. I used to actually do this a lot. So I'm going to keep my cards laid out like that, right? Yee, there we go. Look at that beautiful artwork, you guys. Look at that, family. And so Vanisher, what he does is if you control Photon or Galaxy monster, you special summon this card from your hand. You can only summon him, special summon Photon Vanishers once per turn. If the card's special summon, he adds a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand. And then, also, he can't attack the turn you activate this effect. That's fine, because you're just going to link or XYZ with him. And he is a Whiptail as a material. So if you ever Exceed with him, he gives your any of your Exceed monsters a Whiptail effect, where they battle a monster and they banish it. So it's pretty strong. You can just get over stuff that can't, like, you know, be destroyed by specific things, for example. Or if they're, like, floaters, like a Dante, for example, you just can beat over it and banish it. And then we also have 2 copies of Photon Thrasher. I felt that I didn't want to play actually 3 because this card can break when you draw multiples. And then also when you're playing 3, you do play a high risk of drawing them when you already have an established field and you already control monsters. Don't get me wrong, he can be a recovery because if your board gets broken, he's an easy way to start your plays back up again because he gives you a Photon that you control so you can summon your knight without tributing. But ultimately, I do play 3 of him because I have reinforcement of the army. And also, you know, like, he's not always going to be the best play to go to, but he can also help you to make your Link monster first and then go into your Infinity and your Photon Lord, which is really good. And then finally, to sum up the monsters, I play 1 Galaxy Eyes Cloud Dragon. This card's broken. He's a Monster Reborn, and he also attaches himself from the graveyard to any Galaxy Eyes as a material. So if you have, for example, any Galaxy Eyes monster in your grave, you can just tribute this guy, special it, and then re-equip him as a material. So you basically get to Monster Reborn a Galaxy monster, XYZ, and then give it an effect. One time, like, you know, give it 1 detached. So that can bring back your Lord, give him a search and a negate. That can, it can bring back your Cypher Blade, for example, and you can pop another card. Like, there's a lot of ways that you can use this card. It's really strong. But yeah, right now I'm not playing any hand traps because I'm still testing the deck. And I really can't play it competitive until the other support comes out. Because even though the deck did get a lot more consistent, granting it, basically now it has 12 searchers, which these are the 12 searchers. So the deck did get a lot more consistent, don't get me wrong. But it's like I said, it's still lacking in some areas. It just needs that refinery. It needs that that finishing polish. But yeah, the deck did get really consistent now. So you have a lot of ways to get the cards that you need. And I felt like that was a problem that the deck had. I mean, you do have cards like Photon Lizard, which searches any Photon monster, but that's not really the route you want to go, and you normally have to get it on field first to tribute it, because it's a tribute for cost effect. So it's something you can experiment with, but I don't recommend it. And then we also play 3 trade-ins. It's just a must. All your level 8s, you know, you play 6 of them, and they're searchable. And it's really important to get your Photon Dragon engraved. So trade-in is really neat. I like it a lot. We also play 3 Photon Sanctuaries. Photon Sanctuary is pretty powerful. When the new Link monster comes out, it's only going to get better. But in this deck, it's like a free Link summon for your Hippo Shinigami. And it also can be just fodder for any other light Link monsters that you play, depending on which ones you play. Because there are other light Link monsters, like Griffin, for example. And also it gives you fodder for your Galaxy Eyes, which is really strong. And it's not once per turn, so you can go like double Hippo Shinigami. For example, you can go double Galaxy Eyes Soul Flare Dragon, or you can go Soul Flare Hippo Shinigami. It just depends. So it's a really strong starter card. I like it a lot. And when the Galaxy Eyes Soul Flare Dragon comes out, this is going to be an insane recovery play, because you can just play this one card, link it to Soul Flare, use Soul Flare, add Galaxy Knight from grave to hand, normal Galaxy Knight, special Galaxy Eyes, and then you have a free Link 2 and a rank 8 all off of one card. And the rank 8 is going to search, so it's going to be free. It's just insane. And then we also have 2 copies of Galaxy Expedition. Galaxy Expedition is a tour guide of the deck in the form of a spell. It just specials them from the deck. It's like a tutor kind of it's a tutor kind of card, and it can trigger your soldier to get the effect of search, and then you can just combo off really heavy with it. While I love the card, it is very specific because you have to have a level 5 or higher Photon or Galaxy, and it is once per turn. Don't get me wrong, it's really easy to set up. It's not like it's impossible to get a level 5 or higher on the field. I mean, you got to think of it like a lot of your playstyle is getting level 8s on the field and level 5s on the field. So it's not hard, and your Galaxy Wizard can easily set this card up and search it out. But it's the fact that it's once per turn that kind of makes it like, I don't really want to draw too much. And if I have to, I'll search it out. It's not hard to search. Then we have 2 copies of Excellite. Excellite is like another tour guide of the deck, but it's a better tour guide because you don't have to control a specific kind of monster. You just got to control no monsters. So this is always going to be a starter card, whereas this can be used as an extender and a follow-up as well. But this is always going to be a starter card because obviously you're starting off with no monsters. And you could just bring out your Vanisher, your Orbital 7, your Wizard, whatever you feel you need, whatever you feel is comfortable. This just specials in from the deck. So it's a tour guide. It's just really powerful. I wish that it had Photon or Galaxy in its name because that'd be insane. But, it gives you just 2 extra copies. So your 12 searchers become 14 because this gives you 2 more copies of Wizard, 2 more copies of Vanisher, 2 more copies of Orbital 7, Photon Orbital. So it's like an additional extender and also another way to search. No, it's not an extender. Don't even pay attention to that. It's an additional way to get into your combo pieces, which I really like. It's really good. It's like either this or Photon Thrasher, but I prefer this over Thrasher sometimes. It just depends. And then I particularly play 2 Galaxy Zeros because I actually love this card. It's a searchable Monster Reborn. Spiral Gear Red really copied a lot of this card's text. This is like the original Big Red, or I can say Big Red is like a copy, like a pseudo Galaxy Zero. It's a Monster Reborn. It protects the equip from being destroyed by battle. And then also, it can be used on any of your Photon or Galaxy monsters. Which is really broken, and I like that a lot. And normally you just reborn an XYZ and then stack more XYZs on top of it. So, like, you can just get a 1-card combo off of this. I play 2 because it can come up a lot, and I don't want to lose just to the simple fact that, I didn't have the extra copy of it. It really does come up more than once, trust me. So, you want to play 2, but not 3. That's a little overkill. You can even play Soul Day in this deck because this isn't equipped, just food for thought. Yeah, I don't play Desires right now because I'm still testing it. I know everything is basically at 3, trust me. You can get away with it, but I'm still testing it because a lot of the times Desires would banish my extra copies that I need for the second turn, which I really hated. So still testing it. And then another one of the new cards, we play 1 Photon Hand. It is a searchable, basically mind control. That's what it does. And it can help you in combating boards because basically, far as like extra link boards go, you can just either use this to bait Trigate, or if you bait Trigate, you can use this and you just rip the extra link board apart because you get to take one of the monsters that have other monsters pointing to it to where you have 3 monsters calling to it. For example, like Trigate's always going to have 3 other link monsters pointing to it. So if you take the Trigate, those 3 monsters are no longer co-linked, which is really like retarded. So you can help it can help you to combat boards basically going second, and it's a searchable out. If you don't have Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, when it's activated though, you only take XYZ monsters specifically. So you know it requires a little bit of a setup, but that's not hard to do at all. And then we have the one Rhoda to search out Vanisher or Thrasher. And there's another Photon Warrior that's coming out as well. Then we have the God card, the 7th one. These are the 1-ofs, by the way. So these are all the 1-ofs. There's more 1-ofs coming. But the 7th one is the God card. If you draw this card, you actually just win the duel. There's no way around it. When you draw this card, your opponent, for the rest of the turn, will not be able to activate cards or effects. And all cards in the field are going to be negated because of the monster that this summons. It's just broken. Like, if you're playing Photon Galaxies and you're not playing this card, you should really reconsider playing it. Like, it's a mistake to not play it. It's like when you're playing Blue Eyes, but you don't play your Soul Charge. Does that make sense? Like, it's like playing Blue Eyes without Soul Charge. Then we have Reborn, and speaking of, we play Soul Charge. So these are, you know, extenders. Always they're used as extenders. They really help you, especially if you, like, get hand trapped or anything like that. They help you to just kind of reestablish. And then these are just kind of like toolbox utility cards. I like them. And this card's just, it's a win condition. Then for our traps, we played 2 Tachyon Transmigration. Now, my brother, this card is insane. It's insane. So you have to have a Galaxy Eyes monster on your field to activate it. But what it says is if you control Galaxy Eyes monsters, we're going to read this together. Negate the activation of your opponent's spell, trap, or monster effects that were activated before this card in this chain. And if you do, shuffle those cards into the deck. If you control Tachyon, you can activate this from your hand. So it's a hand trap, right? But what this basically said, this is something that I find that I couldn't find another card like this. Like, there's no... You guys have to understand, I'm really not lying to you. There's no other card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That can actually stop an entire chain link and negate everything. The reason why people chain block is for that specific reason, so that you can only negate the highest chain link. For example, if they build it up to chain link 3, they put a specific card as chain link 3 because they don't want you to negate chain link 2 or 1. But what this card does is it negates an entire chain. So let's just say, for example, the best example I can use is if you're playing against Chain Burn, because that would be the most insane way to use this card. If they try to chain build you up until like chain link 7, and they've played 7 cards to do that, you flip this one trap, you negate all 7 cards in that chain link. That is ridiculous. This helps you in hand trap battles when you start playing Call by the Graves. You know, if your opponent Ash Blossoms you and you Call by the Grave them, and then they Ghost Bell your Call by the Grave, and let's say you Solemn Strike them, and then let's say they Red Reboot you, and you chain Tachyon Transmigration, you win. That's just one of many examples. Like, this trap is really insane. It's the only card that I know of in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That can actually respond to an entire chain link, like the chain link as a whole. It just negates the manifestation of chain links. It's retarded, and it shuffles, which is broken. Then we have 2 Tachyon Chaos Trap Hole. What this card is, basically, it's a board wipe during your opponent's return. What this trap does is basically it banishes all cards your opponent controls if they destroy a Galaxy or Photon, if they destroy a Galaxy Eyes XYZ monster. So any of your XYZs on the field and your opponent kills it by battle or card effect, you're going to literally punish them by banishing all their cards. Just banish them. Banish their whole field. That's like an evenly matched during your opponent's turn, right? It's broken. Then during your draw phase, you can banish this card instead of drawing, and then special and just basically Monster Reborn, a Galaxy Eyes. And then we have the new trap, 1 Photon Change. I'm really testing it. I like its application during your opponent's turn. I just wish that it was a continuous spell. That would have been better. But don't get me wrong, it's a really strong card. And the fact that it searches Galaxy or Photon cards and not specifically monsters makes it even better, because it can search a lot of your extenders, a lot of your play starters, and it searches your follow-up and your recovery. And you're obviously always going to have Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, so you're always going to get a +1 off of this card, which is really broken. So, you know, I'm testing it at 1. I found that 5 traps was just like the most. Like, I can't play more traps in this. But as far as competitive goes, I would say if you want to play super competitive, you can easily cut these cards. But don't get me wrong, like, I really don't recommend you cut it. But if you want to, if you have to, put it this way, if you have to choose between these 3 traps, which one you want to play, besides Impermanence, I would say this is the best one. This has the highest competitive application out of the 3 traps. Because like if you, for example, just wanted to play a play set of impermanents, you can easily swap all 3 of these out for impermanents and keep this. Don't keep this over this. This is going to be better than this. Even though this is, don't get me wrong, a board wipe, your opponent has to destroy your monster to do it. And sometimes they're not always going to do that. Sometimes, you know, they're going to shuffle it into the deck. Sometimes they're going to banish it. It's not always going to resolve, but don't get me wrong, you have a high chance of resolving it. But also, like, this card's just way better. It really is. So, yeah, that's actually it for the main deck. Now for our extra deck, we have 2 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lords. This card, it just recently came out not too long ago. It's a monster negator. And then if it's made in its own archetype, it negates the monster effect and destroys it. And it also will not be able to be destroyed by card effects. And it also searches a Galaxy or Photon card from your deck to your hand. So it does a lot of stuff. Like, it does 3 things. It's broken. It's really strong. You can easily just set this up with the newer monster, with the stealth, the Photon Blast Dragon. Because basically, he already can't be destroyed by card effects, but then you can make it to where he can't be targeted. And if you have Orbital on either one of these, like, it's just, your whole board has to be evenly matched at that point. Your opponent has to evenly match you. There's, like, no other way that they're getting over it. So this card's insane. It even protects itself because it negates monster effects. So it's one of your best turn 1 plays, because not only does it set up a negation, but it's going to search you a follow-up, which is really strong. So you're always going to have another play to make, even if this is the only play that you can make. You're going to get another one off of him. And if your opponent Ash Blossoms him, he can even just negate the Ash Blossom if you wanted him to. Then we have 1 Cypher Blade, 1 Full Armor Photon. We have 1 Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon, and we have 1 Prime. Full Armor Photon can sometimes get his equip effect, but it's not even ideal. That's just food for thought. Cypher is retarded, and this card can beat over any card, especially when you have 2 rank 8s on the field. It's broken. This card gets way past 4,000. Its base starting statistics are 4,000, and you can even, if it gets killed by card effect, it returns to the field at 8,000 attack. 8,000 attack. Then you can put Cloud Dragon as a material under it, and then you can detach and give it more than 8,000. You can get this card up to 12,000. 12,000, you guys. This deck is full of beaters. Then we have the package deal for the 7th one, because you just win the duel. Why not play them if you can win the duel because of them? And you can still make this, just if you're going into battle phase and you're playing against decks that play too many traps like Altergeist and Paleozoics. Like, you want to make this card because it's basically going to stop your opponent from going off on you and stopping you from killing them. And it's going to get more attacks as well, and it's going to punish them for trying to stop you. The 2 generic rank 8s I chose were Titanic Galaxy and Felgran. And then we have the Infinity package, right? And then we have Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. This card's insane. I'm going to have to read it because it's new. So what it says is, if it's XYZ summon, you can special 1 Photon monster from your hand. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is a Galaxy monster and a Photon, if you guys did not know that. While this card is XYZ, while this XYZ summon monster is on the field, your opponent cannot target monsters you control that have 2,000 or more attack with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So they basically, this card makes it to where your whole board can't be targeted or destroyed. So that's like when you have Cerberus and Goblin. Think of it as an extra link board with Cerberus or Goblin. And then if you have Orbital 7, it's like, imagine having a board with Cerberus, Goblin, and Phoenix, right? Because your monsters can't be targeted by card effects, can't be destroyed by card effects, cannot be destroyed by battle. Oh, wait, you get a freaking Trigate because you have a negate. So it's like you make an extra link board, basically the equivalent of a Goki extra link board, minus the locking your opponent from the extra deck aspect. But you have every other benefit of a Goki extra link board, a full Nightmare board plus Trigate, by having this in your Lord, or you can have this in your Infinity. It's just broken. So yeah, if you have this plus Orbital 7 next to any of your boss monsters, your entire board is like unbreakable. They have to spear mode you. Like, it's just, that's what they have to do. And then I play another rank 4. Obviously, I'm playing Exciton Knight. This card is just retarded. If your deck can make this card and you're not playing it, why would you not play it? You know, it's a really good card. It helps the deck out going second. You know, if you open with just your Vanisher and your Thrasher, you could just special Thrasher, special Vanisher, search, go into this guy, you know, and just blow the board up. Because naturally, if you're going second, it's a downhill battle already. And then we have 1 Hippo Shinigami. I'm just currently taking it at 1. Normally, when you're able to set this guy up with 2 negations under it, you're probably winning anyways. And then if he dies, you just put him back into your extra deck and make him again. So I'm just playing around with the 1. But once we get Photon, the Galaxy Eye Soul Flare Dragon, some things in the extra deck are gonna have to change. Like, I don't know. It's really hard because like these 2 slots in my extra deck are taken up by a 1-of in my main deck, which is, I'm not always gonna draw it, but it's like the one-of is so high ceiling. So I'm really always on the fence that, like, this could be a Soul Flare, and this could be another card. And if you guys didn't see my other build, I played True King of All Calamities in my other build before the new support came out, because I played Photon Satellite. Photon Satellite can make Calamities, and I just think Calamities is too high ceiling of a card. And, you know, I'm going to put Satellite back in the deck, and I'm going to put Calamities back in my extra deck. So, yeah, I think I might have to take out the 7 one, but I'm not. I really don't want to. Like, I want to take something else out. Like, I really think because I already set up, like, strong monster negations, that I could just cut the Felgrand and then put in the Calamities. I think that's what I'm going to do. But, yeah, it's still... there's a little tweaking here and there that I need for the deck, but overall, it's where I want it to be. So, yeah, that concludes my Galaxy Eyes deck profile. Like I said, use this as a guide because this is going to be the best list that you're going to find. All the other builds that I saw were literally cringeworthy. And it's not to say that, you know, the person that built it was a horrible player or anything like that. It's just that they weren't playing the deck the way it's meant to be played, and they're playing too many cards that don't involve the archetype, like the Arc Brave Engine, Dragon Shrines, and Dragon's Ravines, and then, you know, the wrong Photons, like different Photon monsters that you're not supposed to play. There's another card that I should tell you about. His name is Dimension Wanderer. If a monster gets banished by Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon's effect, you discard that card from your hand and inflict 3,000 damage to your opponent. That is a really good side deck card for as far as time rules go. If you have that card in your hand, all you need to do is just get your Photon Dragon on field, which is too easy. Rush into your battle phase. Don't let your opponent play the mind game of, I'm thinking. There's nothing. They're trying to play you. Rush into your battle phase. Battle a monster. Banish. Inflict 3,000. You've won the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Due to Dimension Wanderer being a 3,000 burn. That is like nearly half your opponent's life points. So strongly consider that you play that card. It's really powerful. You can play 3 of it. But yeah, God bless you guys. Have a beautiful day. Don't hurt your brain cells. Make good choices. Carthage must be destroyed. And stay tuned for my updated Shadows. I have a huge change for that day.